Good evening, Instagram. Welcome to the new evolution in the Duggal debate challenge. There is a new evolution, and it's high time this happened. It's high time that I started getting paid for my time. It's high time. And today we will be joined by a good gentleman, Mr. Chiraj Barjatya. He's a good gentleman because he has offered to pay me for my time. If I am able to demonstrate that soya chunks are not suitable for human consumption, if I can demonstrate that they are not healthy, Chiraj pays me 31,000 rupees. So Chiraj, you're a good man, and I appreciate your patience and understanding. We started the debate 30 minutes late because I have some construction going on at my place. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest, Mr. Chiraj Barjatya. Let's go. Chiraj should be joining us any moment. Good evening, Chiraj. How are you?
All good. कैसे हो आप?
एकदम बढ़िया. 1 second, man. I'm going to have to make a little adjustment with my tripod. I'll get it up a little bit.
And I want this debate in Hindi.
Debate in Hindi.
For my Twitter audience.
Your Twitter audience. देखो, हम debate हिंदी में कर सकते हैं. But you know why? मेरे को चाहिए डिबेट अंग्रेजी में हो. मैं बताता हूं क्यों. क्योंकि हमारे एविडेंस बेस्ड हीरोज देख रहे हैं ये डिबेट. यूट्यूब पे जाएगा ये डिबेट. इसको मेरे को चाहिए कि मार्टिन मैकडोनाल्ड ये डिबेट देखे, लाइव मैकडोनाल्ड देखे, एलन आरागोन देखे. इन सबको दिखाना है कि ये जो एविडेंस बेस्ड का गेम है सिर्फ वो नहीं खेल सकते हैं, हम भी खेल सकते हैं और उनसे अच्छा खेल सकते हैं. तो मेरे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है अगर आपको चाहिए कि हम ये डिबेट हिंदी में करें. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
सॉर्ट ऑफ मिक्स
जी,
सॉर्ट ऑफ मिक्स
रखते हैं. थोड़ा हिंदी, थोड़ा अंग्रेजी, इंग्लिश,
पंजाबी भी चलेगा.
थोड़ा पंजाबी भी चलेगा. Okay, awesome. How are you, Chiraj? It's good to see you, man. You're looking good, by the way.
All good. Thanks to high protein diet. Thanks to you. So
that's very
before we
kind.
start, I already paid 25K to you.
Hey, thank you so much. So I'm competing for an extra 6K.
Yes, reason being I don't debate my gurus. I'm here to discuss good things.
Of course. And
so
that's the whole idea.
Yeah, I think and we can start.
All right then. So
cool.
I guess most people who are familiar with my work, in 2016, I believe, I did a presentation for Shreyas Kamath, wherein I highlighted some realities which apply to bodybuilding for vegan athletes. Not just bodybuilding, but those principles apply for any athlete, even anyone who wants to just improve their health markers, and they want to do that while following a vegan nutrition plan. Now, there was a section on soy over there, and I remember clearly what I stated there. What I said there was that most of the accusations against soy are exaggerated. And I believe I highlighted two papers. One was a review paper by Hamilton Reeves. I believe that was a 2009 paper. I can't remember the date, but a very popular review paper by Hamilton Reeves, which demonstrated that soy protein intake does not negatively affect testosterone production in men. And then I guess I also highlighted a Douglas Kalman paper. That I believe is a 2007 paper, which also had a similar narrative to offer, that soy protein isn't problematic. However, I'd like to make a confession here. I had a bias, a vegan bias. I was a strong proponent of the plant-based diet then. I'm still a strong proponent of veganism, which means I still feel that as far as is possible, we must strive to minimize our animal product consumption. From an ethical perspective, it's incredibly problematic to freely consume animals the way we do. So I believe we must make an attempt to reduce our animal product consumption. But coming back to the bias I developed back in the day. Firstly, I was brainwashed by the evidence-based jokers who just say it depends for everything. Well, is soy good or bad? The general narrative is it depends. It depends on the dose. And it seems like there are some papers which highlight that soy is problematic, but then there are some papers which highlight that it isn't problematic. So we've got some papers which highlight that soy is problematic, some which highlight soy is not problematic. So we can just even it out then. I guess we don't necessarily have to pick a side. What I call that is a lazy way of interpreting the scientific research. In years to follow, since 2016, I have made an attempt to familiarize myself with the literature on soy. What is soy? What are soybeans? And what are the different products which we have which result from soybean processing? And I've made an attempt to look at not just the research which shows positive findings for soy consumption, but also negative findings, because this is what we often do. We have the problem with our evidence-based community and the evidence-based authorities we look up to. They are for the most part lazy. Okay? When someone highlights a problem with a particular food, with a particular supplement, the first thing they do is they try and find a paper which demonstrates otherwise. If they find a paper which demonstrates otherwise, then their job is done, then they're good. Because look, you found a problem with soy consumption. Look, I found a paper which does not have a problem with soy consumption. That's not good enough. That's not how we should interpret scientific research. If there's a problem, a serious problem, we need to ask ourselves, why is there a serious problem? It's very easy to just label what I'm about to do today as cherry picking, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. After I present my case, everyone who watches this debate is going to accuse me of cherry picking. Full disclosure, I am cherry picking today. I have cherry picked evidence, strong evidence, to support my stance that not just soya chunks, but soy products in general are not safe for human consumption. And in the minutes that follow, I will demonstrate exactly why. And then you can do two things. One, what you can do is maybe you can point to the Hamilton Reeves paper or the Kalman paper and say, Aman Duggal, you're just cherry picking. Yes, I am. But I'm cherry picking to highlight a point, a problematic point. There's a problem. There's a huge problem. And we can't turn a blind eye to that problem. So once we begin the debate, I think we can get to the specifics of why I strongly believe that soy and its associated products should not be consumed by humans in any way, shape, or form. Harry Sandhu left a comment under my announcement that he said that it's all going to boil down to context and it's going to be an it depends thing and a dose makes the poison thing. No. Okay, that is, like I said in a post which I had done previously, that's a cheap cop-out. I am here to present a problem with soy. If you or anyone else who's watching, including our evidence-based authorities, if you have a problem with what I say, just like Chiraj is here, and he is debating me right now, I would invite you to debate me instead of labeling me as a cherry picker, because that's the easy, lazy thing to do.
Okay, cool. So I started eating soy because I saw your video with Shreyas back in 2016. And then
Right.
I saw one of your lecture on the Christie research, I think. Yeah.
Dr. Christine Crumley, she was an author at Alfred once upon a time.
Yeah. I recently read her article. It was on Script, I think, posted in 2020.
Right.
So she also came to the conclusion that soy is not a problem. And
Of
then
course, yeah.
obviously, I have been doing blood test on myself. I am seeing the raise in testosterone. No problems
Right.
with my any of the marker. I've been consuming
Right.
soy very frequently in the form of tofu or soya chunks. Okay, and I've been asking my clients to do the same. They have been putting muscles.
Right.
Their skin and everything is doing great. I don't see a problem so far, and that's because I couldn't find any evidence. And that's why I've been promoting soya chunks as much as possible, because it's the cheapest source. But I've been asking people to cook it properly and to wash it properly, because we really don't know how the companies are processing it.
Right. I understand. And that's great. There's most certainly something to be said about how soy is prepared. Okay, there are better ways of preparing soy, but there are better ways of processing soy, which can reduce some of the problematic properties of soy. However, I want to come back to Dr. Christine Crumley. Dr. Christine had published her article, Soy, a Review of the Literature, on my website, alfraj.com. And when my new website is up, I'll publish her article again. She's done a great job at reviewing the literature, and she has made an attempt to highlight that soy is not problematic. But I know Dr. Christine really well, just like I know Dr. Anastasia Zinchenko really well. We used to manage the vegan bodybuilding and nutrition Facebook group together till I wasn't able to participate as much as they were participating. I respect Dr. Christine. She's a molecular biologist. She has a PhD in molecular biology. Dr. Anastasia Zinchenko has a PhD in biochemistry, but they also have a bias towards veganism. And what they've done is, in response to the problems which have been highlighted with regards to soy, they have cherry-picked studies which do not highlight that problem. So now we have to think about this. This is something worth thinking about. Now, before I do that, I also want to touch on your experience. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you've been consuming soy on a regular basis, and you've seen an improvement in testosterone. You're otherwise fine physically, and your client's also doing really well. Well, we see this all the time. It's not a surprise. You and I both know that there are a lot of positive changes which have occurred in your lifestyle outside of soy consumption. You're more regular with your workouts, you're taking better care of your health in general, and we see this with alcohol consumption also. I have friends who consume alcohol on a regular basis, but once they start inculcating good habits, those good habits like exercise and nutrition, good exercise and good nutrition can improve their biomarkers. But that is, and then we can conclude that, okay, we are having alcohol and we are still seeing improvements in our biomarkers. But that's the wrong way to look at it. A better way to look at it is, okay, I am seeing improvements. Can I see better improvements? What if I cut out the alcohol? What if I cut out the cigarettes? What if I cut out the soy? Will I see even better results? And that's why it's almost always better than to look at the scientific research, because in scientific research, we don't have to heavily rely on case studies. Full disclosure, I will be highlighting 2 case studies today. But what the scientific research does is, if we have a randomized control trial, we have subjects who consume soy, then we have subjects who don't consume soy. And then we can see what results they got at the end of, let's say, the intervention, which may be 12 weeks or whatever. That's a far better way of reaching a conclusion.
So I saw the video of Dr. Gill as well on YouTube, Nutrition Made Simple. Even he concluded that soy is pretty much very safe to consume, and just avoid the heavy processed sort of soy, which is fine. We don't consume that much processed soy anyway. I saw the processing on the Indian government website of soya chunks. They are using hexane to process the soya chunks, and they're using like very high pressure material to extract the oil out of it. Other than that, in myself also, people told me that soya causes bloating or gas problem, like you fart a lot, but I don't see that in myself. I'm consuming around 80 to 100 grams of soya protein every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, few of my clients have complained that soya has been causing them heavy bloating and like farts and all everything. So I'm not really sure where is the evidence about soya is not being safe, or are we just questioning the logical thing?
No. We'll come to the evidence right away. But I just want to quickly touch on what I think Dr. Gill or someone, his video, what he said was, you should stay away from the processed soy products.
Heavily processed soy products.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous claim, because you have to process soy. You have to process the soybean. There is no way to consume soy without processing it. If you consume soybeans as is, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because the anti-nutrient content of the soybean has to be neutralized if you want to consume it. Otherwise, I'll show you a few studies also. If you just consume 30 grams soybeans just like that, if you just boil them and consume them, that's going to cause a lot of problems. So we have found that it's better if we process the soy products. For example, soya chunks, okay? You mentioned that they go through a high heat, high pressure process. So basically how soya chunks are made is, you take soya flour, defatted soya flour, and you force it through this machine called an extruder, I believe. And it's like a screw spiral shaped machine. And what we then get is this textured fibrous byproduct, which is labeled, what is it? It's texturized soy protein, TSP or TVP, texturized vegetable protein, which is patented, by the way, I think by an American gentleman who goes by the name of Andrew, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. If I remember, I'll tell you. So that is what we're talking about, okay? It's textured vegetable protein, which can be consumed or which can be prepared as soya chunks or soya granules. That's what soya chunks are. That's all it is. And we know that by virtue of this processing, some of the anti-nutrients, their quantity reduces a little bit. But the problem is, those anti-nutrients are then replaced by potential other types of toxins and carcinogens. I have a few notes here, just so that I don't remember. Yeah, Archer Daniels Midland is the name of the gentleman who's patented TSP and TVP. We have these other problematic compounds like alanines and nitrosamines. So we have to think about this processing. It's not good enough for us to just say that, okay, we processed the product and some of the problematic compounds or the problematic anti-nutrients have reduced. By what degree have they reduced, and have they been replaced by other problematic compounds? So that's the reality. I'll give you another example. Even processing can sometimes come in the way. So one of the things which we'll touch on is soy consumption and its effect on thyroid function. Now we know why soy affects thyroid function. It's because of the goitrogens which are present in soy, right? So one popular narrative is that, okay, if we ferment the soy product, if the process of fermentation is applied to soy, then the anti-nutrient status improves. Well, not really, because the goitrogens actually become more bioavailable when soybeans undergo fermentation. So maybe you will reduce phytate intake, saponin intake, lectin intake, but now you improve the bioavailability of goitrogens. We still have a problem.
I think I also took some notes about the anti-nutrients property, and as far as I know, soya reduces the zinc absorption, I think.
So the zinc absorption, so zinc, iron, and calcium absorption is reduced because of the phytates which are present in soy, and oxalates which are present in soy, they reduce just calcium absorption, and the oxalates also are strongly linked with kidney stone formation. So phytates are a problem because they interfere with the absorption of zinc, iron, and calcium. Oxalates interfere with the absorption of calcium, and they're linked with kidney stone formation. But that's not all. It's not just phytates and oxalates. We also have protease and trypsin inhibitors. So for those of you who don't know, protease and trypsin are digestive enzymes. And if soy interferes, or rather inhibits protease and trypsin function, that is going to affect our digestive health. What else is there? Isoflavones. We're going to touch on isoflavones also. They belong to the phytoestrogen family. They affect reproductive function. What else do we have? We've got saponins and lectins, which interfere with, I believe, immune function and intestinal motility. We've got goitrogens, which interfere with thyroid function, and that's a huge problem with soy because the data is clear as day. Soy interferes with thyroid function. I'll point you to the relevant papers as well, which highlight that. Then we got oligosaccharides. Okay, if you're familiar with FODMAPs, we've discussed this together. That is what causes digestive distress or flatulence and gas production and all that other nastiness which is associated with soy. Saponins, lectins, goitrogens, yeah. And of course, soy is also one of the, I believe, top 8 or 10 allergens in the world. At one point in time, the United States, sorry?
Very, very common allergen actually. People avoid.
Yeah, it's a very common allergen. And yeah, and I believe at one point in time, or maybe still, the United States FDA actually listed it as one of the poisonous plants which we need to be a little careful of. So, yeah, these are some problems. And this is why this anti-nutrient profile of the soybean is what then causes problems which we see in the literature. And we can touch on that because, see, at the end of the day, this is theory, okay? Now we need to examine the literature and see if there are problems.
We didn't see any human evidence for this, right? Did we see any human evidence?
Of course we do. I'll point you to the human evidence right now. So I have a few notes because I can remember most things, but I don't want to blunder the studies, okay? So yeah, since we spoke about goitrogens and their potential to affect thyroid function, so I think we should talk about thyroid dysfunction because we got a really good paper which was published in 2010 by Sathi Polan, where they had subjects who had subclinical hypothyroidism, who developed a threefold risk of developing overt hypothyroidism with just 30 grams of soy protein supplementation. So for people who don't know what subclinical hypothyroidism is, you can think of it as mild hypothyroidism, which became severe hypothyroidism, which is overt hypothyroidism, with just 30 grams of soy protein supplementation. Satipula in 2010. I'll send you all the PubMed IDs for the papers which I'm referencing to.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so one
Now,
common
see,
criticism.
that
Can I
is
just
a,
finish the thyroid dysfunction
yeah.
situation? Yeah, because one common criticism of Satipula in 2010 is that, okay, it was seen in participants or subjects who already had subclinical hypothyroidism. What about healthy subjects? Okay, that's the natural counter. We have Ishizuki from 91. Healthy subjects with no history of thyroid disorders. 50% of the participants. So what they did was they gave them just 30 grams of soybeans a day. So they had all the participants in the study. I believe there were 37 or 39 of them. All the participants in the study, they gave them 30 grams of soybeans a day. 50% of the participants developed hypothyroidism just by consuming 30 grams of soybeans.
Is the question remains how they were consuming the soybeans? Were they processed enough, or we are consuming soya chunks? See, we are not consuming soybean directly anyway. So I want to know about the soya chunks, and soya chunks are already very heavily processed.
They're not that heavily processed. They still have problems. The anti-nutrient profile of soya chunks isn't greatly improved. And they are replaced with alanines and nitrosamines, which are labeled as toxins and carcinogens. These are realities associated with texturized vegetable and texturized vegetable protein and texturized soy protein. We do have studies on texturized vegetable protein also. So a lot of people, what they tell me is, so we can't find studies on soya chunks. That's because soya chunks aren't labeled as soya chunks in the scientific literature.
Yeah.
They're usually referred to as TSP or TVP. So it's either texturized soy protein or texturized vegetable protein. So, for example, here's another study, something which most of us fitness enthusiasts will be interested in. Hobb in 2002. Beef was compared with soya chunks. And beef isn't all that great of a protein source. So the bioavailability and all the other ways in which protein quality is assessed does not find beef ranking. We don't find beef doing that all that well. But still, there was a 50% greater increase in muscle cross-section area seen in the participants who consumed beef versus the participants who consumed soya chunks.
50%.
50% greater increase in muscle cross-section. And since we are speaking about muscle and strength gain, there are other studies. We got studies by Hartman, 2007. Low-fat milk was compared with low-fat soy protein, and I believe what they did was they had them consume this beverage post-exercise and then 1 hour after exercise. Milk was found to be significantly better, and this finding was then repeated in Wilkinson, 2007. They also found that low-fat milk was better than a low-fat soy beverage with protein equated. Then we had Phillips and Wolick in 2012 and 2013. They saw similar findings. Mobley in 2017 found something similar as well. So now I am aware that there are also studies which demonstrate that soy protein isolates do just as well as, let's say, whey protein. But that's not good enough, because we have studies which show that they don't do as well. If anything, even if you were to start including the studies which demonstrate that soy protein does just as well as whey protein, the literature still trends towards either soy does just as well or it does worse. Soy has never done better than whey protein or animal proteins as far as muscle and strength gain is concerned. And even the studies where we have soy protein doing better than, or soy protein isolate doing better than, or rather just as well as a whey protein or some other protein source, we've got an industry bias associated with it. So Sole companies almost always sponsor. The Soy Nutrition Institute and the Fuji Foundation are almost always involved in these situations.
Okay. And we have evidence on the prostate and the breast cancer as well about the benefits of soy. Christine
Oh yeah, that's
herself covered it.
Oh yeah, that's a very easy one to debunk. So where this comes from is they look at Japanese populations, okay, or they'll see the Okinawans and they'll see Asians and they'll be like, oh, look at the Asian populations. They consume so much in the way of soy products, and they have lower incidence of breast cancer, low incidence of prostate cancer. Well, yes, but we need to think more, right? They have higher incidence of stomach cancer, higher incidence of liver cancer, and also higher incidence of prostate cancer. No, not prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer. So what a lot of evidence-based professionals do is they just stop at this. And here's another reality with soy. It's not that the Asians consume a lot of soy. They don't consume a lot of soy. And most of the soy which they consume comes from fermented products like tempeh and miso and natto. They consume less than, I'm going to have to check the statistic, but I believe around 5 to 10% of their calories come from soy. The rest usually comes from meat and rice and all those other products. They are not. The Asians do not consume soya chunks. They do not consume texturized vegetable protein or texturized soy protein. That's not popular. That's popular in America and in India, not in the healthy Asian populations.
Okay, cool. And when you talk about the consumption, the dosage, how many grams of soy protein alone you are talking about?
Right. Now, see, this is something which we need to think about, okay? The most popular narrative, and this is again how well-educated scientists get this wrong all the time, okay? They say that the dose makes the poison. Okay. Well, why is that? What dose? And what happens at that dose? So think about it in very simple terms. Fine. Nothing's happening. Okay, I'm increasing the intake, nothing's happening. And then what? We reach a threshold and suddenly things happen. So I'll tell you where this whole dose makes the poison fallacy comes from. It comes from risk assessment analysis. So in risk assessment analysis, we have something known as the threshold model of risk assessment. A simple example would be to take smoking. You smoke cigarettes and you inhale compounds which are damaging to your lung function. Well, fortunately for us, thousands of years of evolution has ensured that a body can do something about those compounds, those problematic compounds. So let's say there is some damage which occurs. Well, cellular repair is initiated and the body is able to repair most of that damage and get rid of those problematic compounds. So traditional risk assessment or very simple risk assessment analysis then says that, okay, it is beyond a certain dose. You continue inhaling smoke, and then at a particular dose, at this threshold, suddenly the body starts breaking down and you start experiencing symptoms and then you develop disease. Well, that's a very oversimplistic model, the threshold model. We should not rely on that because any good risk assessment expert will tell you that, yeah, fine, for an introductory class on risk assessment, we can start with the threshold model to warm up our students, but we don't stop there because we know that one cigarette is enough to cause cellular damage. Now, that cellular damage, we may not experience symptoms right away. At most, we may cough. We may not even cough. But what is happening at the cellular level? Now, you can apply the same thing to soy. Okay, let's say we put a threshold of 30 grams of soybeans. Okay, 30 grams of soybeans, when I consume 30 grams of soybeans, then my stomach starts paining, then I start experiencing flatulence, then I start experiencing all these other nasty symptoms of digestive distress, and not only that, I'll start feeling lethargic and irritable and everything else that happens as a consequence of experiencing GI distress symptoms. Well, what do you think is happening at 29 grams, or 28 grams, or 27 grams, or 26 grams? Just because you can't identify a symptom doesn't mean that things aren't happening at a cellular level. Doesn't mean that if you start experiencing negative mood or if you start feeling lethargic, or if you start feeling a little irritable, doesn't mean that we should ignore those symptoms. And we have case studies of this nature. A lot of people will tell you that they were feeling irritable or lethargic, they were feeling tired, and then they just got rid of the soy products, and now that irritability, lethargy is gone. And that matters. We need to think about this. It's not good enough to just assign a threshold. How are we assigning it? By using that problematic threshold model for risk assessment. That's a very simple.
This can happen with anything. No, if I talk about my case only, if I take more than 2 scoops of whey, it starts causing me issues. Some people can handle up to 4 to 5 scoops of whey. Same goes with the soya, no?
But soy, the anti-nutrient profile of soy is very different from that of whey. Whey has been thoroughly investigated. The health benefits of whey as clear as day. And we also know that most of the problems which are associated with whey are tied to lactose intolerance. You get rid of the lactose in whey, almost always things improve. And now we've got artificial sweetener problems. Okay, sucralose is something which causes digestive distress for a lot of people. You get rid of sucralose, people start feeling better. So we have to ask the question, okay, if someone's experiencing digestive distress consuming whey, why are they experiencing it? And how has whey done in the scientific literature? Whey is done brilliantly. You can't even compare it to soy. So soy has a terrible track record in the scientific literature. We only scratch the surface as far as the studies are concerned.
Yeah, okay. Then who can consume it? And why people are consuming it? I should see, my concern is if someone is not able to afford good protein diet, he can rely on soy. But the points you raised is like doing more harm than good.
Yeah, I have a very simple solution to offer here. Consume less protein, but don't consume a problematic protein source.
Okay.
Consume less protein and try your best to make a little more money so that you can maybe afford some eggs, perhaps. At least we understand that, okay, eggs are problematic. There are religious concerns there, but that doesn't mean that we consume soy. Just because we can't afford good quality food does not mean we consume compromised quality food.
Noted. Anything else you want to add? Like, I'm
certainly.
I'm confused because
I'll share.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay, so we've touched on thyroid, we've touched on muscle and strength gain issues. Yeah, this is where something which really concerns me. Reproductive function and infant formulas. Okay, Patty Saul and Jefferson published a review, and they found that infants had circulating phytoestrogen concentrations 13,000 to 22,000 times higher than their own endogenous estrogen levels. And those levels are 50 to 100 times higher than estradiol levels in pregnant women. And so you're like, okay, fine, they're higher. What's the problem? Well, Zhang and colleagues found a problem. Zhang found that infants who are fed a soy formula, they started developing premature breast development in the first 2 years of their life. And the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends against the use of soy infant formulas. And we see this not just with infants, we see this with adults also. Here's another one. Happy to, I believe this is a 2012 paper. He found that replacing meat with tofu reduced total testosterone levels and increased SHBG levels. Now, this is a randomized control trial. It's very easy to dismiss it, but I want to know, why is this happening? This is the problem. We can't ignore these problems. Then case studies. Okay, I know they're not all that great, but they should make you think. Most of us know about the 60-year-old man who developed gynecomastia. Dr. Christine also highlighted this.
Yeah.
So he was consuming 3 liters of soy milk a day. I get it, a lot of soy milk. He developed severe gyno, erectile dysfunction, and low libido. And his estrogen and estradiol levels were 4 times the upper limit of the reference range. And when he stopped consuming soy, everything returned back to normal. So his estrogen levels got back to normal. The breast tissue which he had developed, he lost that. But this is one of the things which a lot of people say is that, oh, that was a 60-year-old. Well, we've seen this in 19-year-olds also. Another case study of a 19-year-old he saw a dramatic loss of libido, and he also experienced erectile dysfunction. After he eliminated the soy products in his diet, again, everything returned back to normal. So these are realities. I mean, we need to think about these things. It's very easy to say that, the dose makes the poison, or Aman Duggal, you're cherry picking research. Yes, I'm cherry picking research. I want to know, why is this happening? What do I do? Like, think about this, right, Chirag? What do I do with this research? And there are many more studies of this nature. What do I do with it? Should I just forget about them? Should I just forget about the fact that there are 13,000 to 22,000 times increases in review papers which we have on soy infant formulas? Should we just forget about them and just think about Hamilton Reeves and Douglas Kalman? That's not a good way of exploring the scientific literature. And trust me when I say this, I've only scratched the surface. I'll continue sharing more in the way of evidence with you with regards to soy. When I went into this debate, I knew soy was a problem. The ADU students already know this. But after a little digging, I realized that soy is a real problem. You can say I have a bias. You can say I'm doing this for 31,000. Prove me wrong. It's as simple as that. I'm here. I will debate you. And if you have a good point to offer, I will concede that point. No problem whatsoever. If you can wholeheartedly provide research which unanimously demonstrates, which convincingly demonstrates that, listen, among these studies, there were problems here, okay? But we've got so much other literature which demonstrates otherwise. Then I may consider taking back some of what I've shared with you, but right now I cannot, especially given the theoretical realities with soy and its anti-nutrient properties, and the fact that those translate to empirical evidence. We have problems.
I would want you to send me those studies so that I can read on and I can do on my research. So we can have another discussion on the same. Yeah.
Of course.
Because so
I'll
far
send you
I tried my best. Like I researched every sort of portal, every possible subreddits and all. I couldn't find a single bad evidence about the soy. It's just the low carb people are talking shit about soy because of the carb content. Rest of them, I didn't find anything.
I've been digging through PubMed for a long time, Chirag. So
obviously,
I understand that sometimes it's a little difficult to find these papers, but I'll share them with you, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, cool.
Anything else which you'd like to add?
That's about it. I have to study now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining, Chirag.
Had a great discussion with you.
Great discussion. I appreciate your patience. Thank you for accepting the 9:30 p.m. slot, and it's always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much.
I would want to take a class in ADU about the Twitter marketing whenever you can allow me to take.
Why not? I think we spoke about this on WhatsApp also. We'll have a quick chat with regards to that, and then why not? Yeah. I would love for my students to be exposed to how they can make it big on Twitter.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you so much, Chirag.
Cool then. Good night.
Have a nice day.
Night,
have a nice night. Sleep well.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye. All right then. So this is good. I like this. Can we have more debates like this, please? Okay. I'll send Chirag the relevant research, and then maybe he can make a post and share it with you all, okay? And yeah, okay. So now, you remember my last debate? See, Chirag showed up, and I really appreciate that. You remember my last debate? There was a no-show in my last debate. Who's that guy? Himanshu Jr., okay? He thinks he's Neymar, he thinks he can play football. Okay? He told me he's going to show up at 9:30 p.m. He didn't show up. So, new rules, okay? New rules. If you want to debate me, you have to demonstrate that you're worth my time. That idiot has 58 followers. And I don't want to sound like a Lane Norton, but I showed up, okay? And he wasn't there. Now, why should I entertain you clowns when I can get paid for it? Okay? Next time, if you challenge me to a debate, and you can challenge me to a debate, no problem whatsoever. Martin McDonald, what's up? Mac Nutrition, you suck. Okay? Tell that stupid Martin McDonald to debate me. I'll smoke him. Martin McDonald, Lyle McDonald, Alan Aragon, they don't stand a chance against the King of Kings. I am not an it depends baby man. Okay? There are problems. I'm sharing those problems. These idiots are piggybacking off each other. Okay? They are hugging each other. They are developing, networking with each other. They're holding seminars together, conferences together. I don't need to do that. I don't need Alan Aragon. I don't need Brad Schoenfeld. I don't need Menno. I don't need Mike. All these. I look at them and I see idiots. Okay, all of them. It depends, it depends, it depends. No, it does not depend. That's a problem. Okay, I have highlighted problems. If you're feeding your infant, your baby, a soy-based formula, that's a problem. Soy is a problem. There's no it depends. Okay, now, so firstly, with regards to debates, okay, either you're going to pay me for my time moving forward, or you're going to demonstrate that you're worth my time. Okay, you need to have at least double the following that I do. Simple. Or find someone who can host the debate with double the following that I do so that I get something out of it. I'm not going to show up and waste my time for no good reason. I might as well deliver these lectures at AD. Why should I give them to you for free? Okay, so firstly, no more free debates. I have to get something in return. Today, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid 31K. It feels good to get paid. You know why I don't do free lectures? Because my lectures are bloody good. And you don't deserve them, and the evidence-based idiots don't deserve them because they copy me and then they don't give credit. Like Eric Hems copied my presentation. And he didn't give me credit, or he just gave me credit for those 2 tables, but he copied my entire presentation. And then his idiot fanboys accused me of copying him. So I'm not sharing anything for free here, okay? All you'll get is me trolling you, messing you up, messing with your insecurities, messing with your anxiety, because I can do that and get away with it, okay? So that's point number 1. What was point number 2? I forgot now. I usually don't forget. I need some caffeine. Yeah, start paying me, okay? For debates. It's as simple as that. And listen, those of you, okay, you baby man, crybaby, flexible dieting nutritionists, you're uneducated, okay? Listen to me. Macros, micros, energy balance, multivitamin, fish oil, creatine, ashwagandha. Yay! We know nutrition now. MyFitnessPal. We know nutrition. You're idiots. Okay? You're uneducated idiots. And that's because you have learned from uneducated idiots like Martin McDonald. He's an uneducated baby man. He's stupid. I can demonstrate that. If Martin McDonald shows up, he'll get smoked. This is what I'll do with Martin McDonald. This is what I'll do with Lane Norton. This is what I'll do with Chris Gethin. You know, USA. USA. You like the USA, don't you? USA. You know how I say USA? USA. USA. You stupid America. America is a stupid, stupid country. I'm saving this session, by the way. Send it to the Americans. Loser country. Nothing good has come out of that country. Nothing. Okay, I'm being a little over dramatic. Apple, Tesla, cool, man. But they have problems, massive problems. Ask any university professor in America what's happening right now in the universities. There are problems, man. So I understand. These American idiots you follow are not on my level. I can demonstrate it. If Lane Norton comes, this is what's going to happen with Lane Norton. This is what's going to happen. He is not capable of debating the King of Kings. It's as simple as that. Now, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Some of you guys who are watching this are going to bitch, moan, cry, and complain. You're not going to debate. You're not going to come like how Chiraj, Barjatya showed up. If you have, for example, you look up to people, right? You have authority figures. You don't want to debate me. Tell your teachers to debate me. Tell your teachers, tell that stupid Jitendra Choksi who prescribes soya chunks like this. Idiot. Jitendra Choksi, you are a grade A, uneducated idiot. And I feel sorry for you fitter coaches. I truly do. And I feel sorry for your fitter clients. Soya chunks, so cheap. Fitness is not expensive. Have soya chunks. Have soy. And then your health, destroy. People ask me all the time, Aman, you got all this energy, man. You speak clearly, coherently, confidently. Where do you get all this energy from? Well, one of the many reasons I have this energy is I do not consume baby man foods like soy. Soy is a crime. There you go. I said it. Soy is a crime. If you consume soy, stop consuming it. If you are a nutritionist with whatever 3-month, 1-year stupid certification you've acquired by whatever means, okay, you acquired a stupid certification, and now you think it's okay to prescribe soy chunks and soy granules and soy milk and tofu and tempeh to your clients. If you follow a religion, go to your church, go to your temple, go to your mosque, go to the Gurdwara. I'm dead serious. You need to go to church today. You need to go to church. You need to go to the Father and say this, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm dead serious. And if you're an atheist or an agnostic and you think that's cool for whatever reason, because you follow Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris, and you think, I'm an atheist, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, yeah, so cool, they speak English. You're an idiot. Now you need to get a religion. You know why? Because you need to ask for forgiveness. Because you're an idiot of a nutritionist. It's a reality. Now you ask for forgiveness, okay? If you don't follow a religion, I'll call Sven. Sven is coming in sometime. We're watching Chelsea and Arsenal together. Sven will take you to his church and you can confess your sins. Prescribing soy is a sin. Paap bolte isko, paap. Haram. What are you guys doing, man? We're so happy we can eat anything we want. Idiots. Food selection matters. Exercise selection matters. Lazy, uneducated idiots, okay? You ask me where does my confidence come from? All of you guys look at me. You're like, Aman Duggal, where does your confidence come from? It comes from the fact that I'm surrounded by babies. Listen, if you go to nursery school tomorrow and you're surrounded by little babies, little kids, you'll be confident because they're harmless. I look at all these fools, okay, in my industry, supposed authority figures, supposed big coaches. I look at babies. Yeah, big muscles, but babies. Chris Gethin is a baby. What an idiot, man. Where are you, Chris Gethin? Yo, how many of you follow Chris Gethin? He's a fraud. He's a scammer, a grade A scammer. What did he say? What did Chris Gethin say? Chris Gethin said, debate me or get a training session with me. I said, okay, fine. I accept your debate challenge, Chris Gethin. I'll get a training session with you also. What did he do? He deleted my comment. Loser, coward. Chris Gethin and his stupid bodybuilder friends, cowards. And listen, Chris, this message is for you. You know why you made it in India? Not because of you being a good businessman. You're an idiot of a businessman, Chris. It's because of your friend, Jag Chima. Hi, Jag. What's up? What's your name, Jag? What's your real name? Is it Jagmeet? Jagdish? Jagwinder? Huh? What? You think you understand business, huh, Jag Chima? Really? Talk business with me. How do you think Chris met Hrithik Roshan? Through his rich friend, Jag. And Jag has always been rich. Hey, Jag, come on, man. You know, one spoiled brat recognizes another spoiled brat. But you know the difference between you and me, Jag? My parents made a lot of money. My parents made a lot of money, and that's why I'm a rich, spoiled brat, just like you are. Just like Jag Chima is a rich, spoiled brat, just like Yashwardhan Swami is a rich, spoiled brat. But you know the difference between Jag Chima and Aman Duggal, the difference between Yashwardhan Swami and Aman Duggal. Aman Duggal will make more money than his dad because he respects his dad and he respects the foundation which his dad laid for him, which his mom laid for him. And Aman Duggal is the best in the world at what he does. You are not Jag Chima, you are not Chris Gethin, and you are not Yashwardhan Swami. You can tell by the way these people speak. I am the best in the world at what I do, by a country mile. By a country mile. You know exactly what's going to happen when Lane Norton shows up. He can try to debate me. He will not be able to debate me. Because what does Lane Norton have? What do you guys actually like? You like this. That's all these stupid Americans can do, is talk and showcase white skin. Well, now we have a problem. You know what the problem for you is, America? You know what the problem is? I can talk, I have white skin, and I have something which you do not have. I have a high IQ brain. I have the brain of an Indian, not of a bum American. Stupid Americans, man, crying for your rights, wasting your time in university by paying those expensive ass fees. Loser Americans, loser Canadians. What did you do by going to America and going to Canada? I make more money than you. In India, I am better than you. I am better than your Canadian professors, than your American professors. Find someone who's better than me. Open challenge. Go to your teachers. Man, fuck your teachers, man. Go to your institutes. Call examine.com. I'm dead serious about this. Call examine.com. Tell Kamal Patel, tell Saul Orwell that Aman Duggal has challenged examine.com to a soy debate. Examine.com thinks it depends, right? You can have a little soy. Aman Duggal says no. Soy is a sin. Soy is pak. Soy is haram. Idiots, man. Idiots following idiots. Losers following losers. Then you ask yourself, why do you have confidence issues? That's why. It depends. It depends. It depends on the person. Context matters, nuance matters. No, you're uneducated. That's a reality. This is an uneducated industry. None of you are close to me, and none of you will ever get close to me. Your entire faculties can't debate me. K11 high, you can't debate me. NFNA high, you can't debate me. Mac Nutrition and your entire team, you cannot debate me. You know exactly what's going to happen when your faculty shows up. I will talk and you will keep quiet. And you will be in awe of my greatness, of my intellect. I've said this once and I'll say it again. I have a charming personality. I have the linguistic ability. And I have the intellectual capacity. None of you have it. Too bad. IQ is a genetic reality. I'm gifted. You're not. Too bad for you. You need to learn from me. Listen, man. Gods like me don't come about often. And you know why God sent me? I'll tell you why God sent me. God sent me because he saw atyachar happening. Atyachar is happening in the fitness industry. You know against whom? You got these well-spoken, articulate, PubMed babies who like to refer to themselves as the evidence-based industry. And they are picking on the Hodge twins. They are picking on Louis Marco. They are picking on Rohit Khatri. They are picking on Guru Man. They are picking on all these YouTubers and they are calling out bro science. Well, I am here. God sent me to show you that bro science was right all along. You evidence-based bloggers are in trouble now. What are you? Evidence-based? Evidence-informed? Evidence-bound? You guys actually spend time thinking about what label you want to attach yourself to. I'm an evidence-based nutritionist. No, but I'm evidence-informed, so I'm better. No, I'm evidence-bound. I'm even better. You guys are idiots. You guys spend time on stupid taglines, man. You guys deserve a pasting. No, I'm science-based. No, I'm science-driven. You're uneducated. All of you are. Okay? That's a reality. Thank me and be grateful. You're living in my time. I can save you. You have the opportunity to bow down to my greatness. All you have to do is touch my feet. If you want to do better, you can kiss my feet. Pay me and I'll take good care of you. But if you don't pay me, I don't care about you. I don't need you. See, think about this, man. I don't need you. You want to unfollow me, unfollow me. I don't care. I'll still make it. I'll make it anyway. I don't need anyone. That's how great I am. I understand business. I understand marketing. I understand nutrition. I understand exercise. I understand how the human body works. And more importantly, I understand how the human brain works. You do not. And the people you follow also do not. YouTube losers, Instagram losers. You follow losers, and that's why you are a loser. But we can't say loser, right? That's so toxic, Aman. Get rid of that stupid word from your vocabulary. Toxic, trauma. Remember this. Soy is pap. Soy is a sin. And soy is haram. And all of you need to go to church, you need to go to temple, you need to go to mosque and ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. You have sinned. You have done wrong by yourself and you've done wrong by your clients. Go to church. Sven is coming in sometime. I'm going to call Sven. He's going to take you to church. And you're going to say, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Sinners, all of you. Okay, that's it. 31K is coming home. And from now onwards, if you want to debate me, you will pay me. There is only one king in the fitness industry. There always has been, and there always will be. Thank me. India, thank me. I have never studied in a foreign school, in a foreign university. Everything I have learned from my Indian teachers, from my Indian parents. You like following that crybaby Jordan Peterson? Shame on you. Shame on you. You know what Jordan Peterson tells you? Is something your teachers told you. But you didn't listen to your teachers. And now you have to listen to Jordan Peterson, who cries when he narrates his stupid messages. I don't need America. I don't need Canada. I don't need Europe. I don't need Australia. I don't care if they like me or they don't. I don't care if you like me or you do not. You cannot stop me. I am all powerful. I am all great. I am all divine. I am the King of Kings, the Emperor of Emperors, and the God of Gods. Worship me. Out.